Hey everyone, it's Tyler Skinner here with Women Making Waves. I am so excited and honored and just thrilled to be sitting with my dear, dear friend, Tatiana Dudyez. She's an executive advisor. She is a coach. She's a mom. She also really, really helps women to embrace and embody leadership in a new way and get to know themselves in ways that are inside them, but that they never really maybe have thought about or been discovering. And she helps kind of push that and bring that to the forefront. And she's also a creator and a disruptor, and she's all of the things that really, really embody Hear Me Roar, which is our theme for August this month. And I'm just so honored that I was able to come here to Santa Monica and spend some time with Tatiana in her home and be able to interview her personally, which is not something we often get to do. So thank you, Tatiana, for joining us.
You're so welcome. I'm excited to be here.
So this theme is Hear Me Roar.
Yes.
How are you roaring? And we're going to talk about this ring. Let's just start there.
Yes.
This ring is fabulous. And I want to start there. Check this ring out. It is a cheetah.
I can't.
Diamond cheetah here. We've got this jeweled cheetah with, I don't even know what that is in the center, but it's gorgeous.
Yes, it's
So
gorgeous.
That ring is all about roaring. So let's talk about this ring.
So I bought this ring in Montreal at a moment where I wanted to underline what was happening for me in my life at that point. I had just broken up with a man that I loved. And yes, I broke up with him even though I loved him. And this ring, and I have the necklace that matches it, represents that moment where I understood what had happened for me and him in that relationship. And it was a moment where I learned something about me, something about spirituality, something about him, something about us in common. And I really literally felt like I could roar out of that moment. And I wanted to put that moment in time. So now when I look at this ring and this necklace, I remember.
It's a reminder.
I remember.
And that's very very complementary to the work you do with women.
Yes.
It's helping women roar, helping women find that roar. And then also having them keep that roar, keep that alive.
And even to go a step back even more, I am so passionate about ensuring that women remember who they are. And they've lost that knowing because they've been influenced, they've been conditioned, they've been suppressed, they've been asked to stay small, they've been prevented from roaring. So for me, it's been a lifetime of getting to this point where I roar a bit louder every time, right? And it's a process and it's a wave, just like the wave of wealth, the wave of creation, the wave that women make in their lives and in other people's lives when they find their voice. And when they find their voice, when they connect to their voice and the truth of their voice, they can roar even louder. And it becomes also more powerful. So the loud is perhaps the initial point where they start, connecting to their voice, so they're like, rah, and then it becomes a roar that is not just loud, it is powerful.
And that's what we're seeking, is that power.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the whole purpose for this month's theme, is finding that power, but also holding on and sustaining that power, because that's a key. That's a part that we often don't explore and that we want to explore more at Women Making Waves also. And on this platform with this community is building women up to this point to be able to ride the wave, so to speak, but then be able to continually be able to get back up, even if they fall, and ride the wave again.
Well, listen, we fall all the time, falling and failing forward, as you love so much.
That's why I wanted you to mention it.
Right?
I was hoping you would say it.
Is really important to understand that it's part of our process, especially if you are a bold and daring woman, or if you want to be bolder and more daring. It's going to require you to be courageous and to have vulnerability in that courage. And it will take you down. It will make you cry. It will make you sad. It will infuriate you. It will do all of that, because being a woman to me is that myriad of emotions and myriad of personalities that are part of who we are. Like we were talking earlier at breakfast, and I was saying, for me, I love luxury. I love beauty, because for me, luxury is beauty. And I also love getting dirty and going for a mountain bike ride.
Exactly.
It's that versatile duality that I live by in everything in my life. It's daring to take on a beautiful big trip, you know, that is super elegant, and yet, like you were saying, you know, going into the streets of this little town and speaking to people, and that's life. That's life.
But also embracing, I guess, the complexities of those trips. Things can happen. You know, chaos occurs, or things around us occur. Disruption. And one of the things that you do so well, and one of the things you've embodied in yourself in your own personal life, but in work, is thriving in disruption.
Yes, thriving in disruption, and going beyond also, you know, that disruption, because disruption, I'm a natural disruptor. I mean, we were looking at that also this morning. I'm a natural disruptor because I love to put everything on its head. I'm forever going to be a student and a seeker for more, for growth, for more. I mean, I've been like this my entire life. This is nothing new for me.
Right.
And I've learned, because I've been disrupted in my life a lot, I've learned to be very agile. It's built extreme resilience in me. And I can do things that for some people, for a lot of people, actually seem crazy. Like, I built a beautiful business in Montreal. It became a Canadian franchise. In 15 years, it became the #1 franchise in Canada of temporary luxury accommodations. And I got to this point where I was feeling unsuccessful inside of me, even though everybody was tagging me with that word success, Tatiana is successful. And I was like, what does that even mean?
For you, right?
Right.
For you.
So I started questioning, and I started looking at my life and how I felt about my life. And it didn't feel the way I thought I would feel when I would get to that level of success. So I decided to really dive deeper into that and understand, why do I feel this way? Am I like retarded? Why do I feel this way? Because nobody at the time around me could understand. First of all, the fact that I had built this business on my own, the fact that I was a single mother building this business on my own. I had no girlfriends around me because nobody could understand my life. I was just driven. I wanted more, right? So I just didn't have people around me that were actually able to sit down and go, you know, this is happening because, and I was like, feeling even more disconnected, because I felt like what I was feeling was so weird to me at the time. So I liquidated everything. I sold the business, sold it to the partners. I liquidated my life, and I joined the Tony Robbins team for a year, because I felt like I needed to buy myself time, understand and invest into this depth of questioning. And there I discovered that actually a lot of high achievers feel this way. They never seem to find a level of fulfillment, of peace, and I don't like the word content, but like joy.
Yeah.
And so
and that's true success to some people, is that feeling of contentment and joy.
Joy. Contentment is not a word I relate to. So I'm just going to leave that word to the side, but joy and living life on a high while being in ease and leading a super successful business with grace.
Grace is another really good one.
I embody. But at the time, I was like lost in all of this. I thought, great, I've built this great success. By all means, so many people, you know, respect me for it, and I appreciate it, and I love it, and thank you, I'm grateful. And I wasn't understanding why I was feeling all that. So I shifted into what I do today, which is really embodying the truth of my ambition, embodying the truth of who I am. I am a disruptor, I am a creator, I am an achiever, all of that. But what does that mean today in the new paradigm? What does that mean today for women who are like me, feeling really fed up with the struggle and the sacrifice and the cost, and feeling like we can't, have it all because we're judged by others when we want it all, and when we say we want it all. I've always said I want it all, and I know I can have it all. There is a recipe for having it all.
Well, we've been told that it's to have it all, we sacrifice.
And that's not true.
And that's the story that's out there. And that's the storyline.
And that question, is this really true, is my most powerful question. Because whenever, and I've questioned you, whenever I hear something, I question you, right? Because I want women, people, to ask themselves questions that will reveal who they are at the core.
Correct.
And so that they can do whatever they decide to do with that, not some conditioning that's inherited by someone else, not the cultural, condition that tells you that you've got to be a good girl, and in order to have it all, you've got to do this way and not that way, and you've got to stay home until whatever. The point is, does that make you happy? Does that make
joy?
Does that make you roar?
Exactly. You said your recurring theme in this whole conversation has been questioning.
Yeah.
That's been the main theme, is the questioning. And self-investment. Self-investment was another big pivotal shift, but investing, questioning yourself to the point of, what is this? Who am I? What do I want to do? How does this make me feel? These are the awareness-based listening practices that I really am happy that we're talking about, because I feel like women, and I know you've done this for me and many others, is it's such a special thing to be able to question, to actually take the pause and question and what's going on.
Yeah. And I think that, questions oftentimes make people uneasy, because maybe the space where they're questioning isn't feeling safe. So they don't really want to question, because they know intuitively that if they question, they're going to discover something they don't want to see. And then again, not wanting to see something means that you're not ready to own it. And sometimes it happens, right? We all have moments in time where, I remember, for instance, when I got divorced, I remember feeling that before that moment in time where I was asked for that divorce, I remember feeling it come to the surface. I remember feeling that there were parts of our relationship that I couldn't ask about, because I wouldn't probably get the answers. Second, maybe some of the answers wouldn't be very pleasing, right? So there are always moments in our lives.
It's that Maya Angelou quote, right? Ask for what you want and be prepared to get it.
That's right.
Be prepared, good or bad.
Or bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes actually in the good, in the ways that we ask for what we want, and sometimes we're so not ready to receive that we sabotage the ways that we will receive. And then we get pissed off at the universe, or at so-and-so, or at ourselves, for not receiving what we have been asking for. Little do we know that unconsciously we haven't asked deeper questions to understand what's underlying here that prevents me from receiving. I know I've lived that so many times. Actually, in this process of coming to this point in my life where I achieve wealth in a different way than the first way that I created it, which was hustle, like grind, sacrifice, cost me the marriage I had. It cost me so much. It cost me my health.
What do we say today? The hustle doesn't have to be a struggle.
That's right. And I'm not ready to go there again. It's not sustainable for women. It's not healthy, does not bring joy. And it's based in a belief system that is of lack. lack, it's scarcity and
Not
lack.
abundance, not the wealth that people seek. It's
Not
the lack,
faith.
scarcity, and fear.
Faith and trust that I am protected, that I am supported, that I support myself, that I'm resourceful, I believe in myself, I can make this happen. You know, it's not based in belief, faith, and trust. It's based in lack and scarcity and fear. That's all it's based. It's based in proving to the world, which it was my case. Like, I wanted to prove to the world that I could do this. It was like that big FU attitude where, yeah, I was a badass. I'm still a badass, but I'm a badass in a different way today, you know?
Which suits you, and it's bringing you joy. This is what you're saying. You're finding that inner joy, that inner peace. And that's what's suiting you. And I think that it's okay to shift and it's okay to change. I think that's something that I mean about Hear Me Roar is not always in your face. It's not always aggressive or all these things. Like, that's what I think people mistake when we look at like what that means. We're trying to bring about the concept of roaring in the way of this, like finding yourself and being able to use that voice, use that power in a way that serves yourself, others, and
it has to serve me, it has to serve you, and it has to serve the collective.
I want us to say that one more time because I think that's really important for people to hear.
So whenever we want to manifest anything, we all need to understand that this manifestation is emerging from a place of pure and clean intent that is to be really good for me, really good for you, and really good for the collective and the world. Which means what? For instance, let's say wealth. Let's say that I am manifesting my wealth to be serving my clients, because when I create wealth from serving my clients with the best possible coaching and advising that serves their capacity to thrive, then my wealth that I receive in those moments is helping that person lift. And when I'm helping you lift, then you're helping the world lift. And it is a win-win situation. It's the only way we will heal this world if we are understanding this very simple law. It has to be pure, clean intent, has to work beautifully for me. And when it works beautifully for me, it's because it is serving you to your fullest capacity.
Exactly.
And when we are creating this beautiful energetic containment, then we are emanating the most beautiful energy in the world, and it's participating in healing the world.
There it is. So would you say, to sum up, in closing, would you say that is a good way for your call to action? Because a lot of what we do on our platform is inspiration, but also call to action where we want women to be left with. We have short amounts of time in these interviews and these dialogues, but there's so much wisdom within this, even in a short space or short time. So what can we hear from you, or what's something that's resonating with you or on your heart to share?
That's resonating in my heart to share, because when I learned that very simple way to create more, it was a revolution for me. I was like, wow, like I had never heard it in that way. And so also, when it's pure and clean intent, it's not based in need or want.
Right.
Very, very, very important, because for the longest time, what I experienced up until now is that this way that I used to achieve success was based in that lack and scarcity, which means that it was based in need and want. I want this, I need this, I need $1 million, I want $1 million. No,
It's forced.
It's forced, right? So clean and pure intent is my wealth is serving you, and it's creating healing in the world.
Love it.
It's very simple.
Perfect. That's a great way to wrap this up. And you are making big waves. You are roaring in the world, and very loudly and powerfully. And we're very excited to be able to do something together it's really exciting for me, actually personally, and I'm looking forward to what we're gonna co-create
Yes.
for women, because it's our time. It's time.
Mhm.
So I'm really, really excited. Thank you for
Mhm.
allowing me into your home and your space, and for, offering me such wonderful things like tea and coffee and your time. I really,
course.
really appreciate it so much.
Thank
And I
you for
appreciate
coming.
you.
I appreciate you, and we're excited. I am excited as well to create this beautiful container for women. We are in the process of that
So
co-creation.
stay tuned. It's coming.
Yes,
Perfect.
beautiful things.
Thank you, Tatiana.